Are you deeply spiritual and you have this internal yearning to be truly wealthy, free, and abundant, but you have this internal conflict that is stopping you from really creating the wealth and the freedom that you desire? Today is day 21 of the 30-day Money Mindset Challenge, and I am here to bust the myth that you cannot be rich and spiritual and show you how you can embody and create wealth and be incredibly spiritual. In fact, the two are incredibly complementary. So you have been lied to, deceived, and misled when you have bought into this age-old premise that if you want to be spiritual, then you have to forgo all the worldly riches and you must denounce money and be in a state of lack and scarcity and poverty. What a load of rubbish. Now, I have no idea who created that particular false premise, but it is time to leave that well and truly behind. How is that serving you? And why should anybody who is truly deeply spiritual forgo being wealthy, free, abundant, and having lots and lots of money and being rich AF? Why? Money is just a mirror. It reflects back to you what your beliefs are about money, about rich people, about your self-worth. And we've already done work in previous days on helping to uncover what your blocking beliefs around money are. And this, for many spiritual people, is one that they find very difficult to overcome. So when would now be a good time to decide to really leave this particularly destructive belief behind? Right now, wouldn't it? Absolutely. So let's look at what happens as a spiritual person when you become really, really, really rich. Now, I guess you could make the argument that anybody who's really, 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 really rich has probably made money their god. Well, maybe some people, but is that who you truly are? Really, in the very core and essence of who you are, if somebody gave you $10 million today, would you all of a sudden dump all your spiritual principles, make money your god, and become this completely different person? I didn't think so. So let's look at money from the perspective of how could it advance your spirituality? How could it help you to get into a more conscious state, in a state of higher consciousness? What if you never had to worry about money ever again? You were so rich that you never had to even think about money. Could you go on more spiritual retreats? Could you spend more time meditating? Would you feel more internal peace? Would you contribute more to the world? Would you give money to really great causes? Would your light actually shine brighter as a result of you never having to worry about money or struggle financially again? Of course you would. So now is the time to leave behind those old myths that you cannot be rich and spiritual for good. Never entertain that thought or that philosophy ever again. Everything is a story. Everything is perception. And once you change the story and the perception, everything changes. Here's a little example of how this works. There's a mother who is cooking a roast, and she cuts the end off the roast before she sticks it in the oven. The daughter watches her do this and one day says, "Mum, why do you cut the end off the roast?" Mum goes, I do it because Mum did it." Okay, let's go and ask my mum. So they go and they contact her mother, and her mother says, I just do it because my mum did it. So they go to her mother, great-grandma, and great-grandma says, "Well, I cut the end off the roast because we had little tiny ovens and it wouldn't fit in when it was in its whole form. So we had to chop it down." And then each daughter had just repeated that process because that was what they saw their mother do and how they thought it was always done. See, there's a reason for everything, and everything is a story and everything is a perception. And that does not mean that your stories and your perceptions are actually valid, because you have picked up the vast majority of your beliefs and your stories from somewhere else. So question your thoughts, question your beliefs, and find out where they've come from. Are they yours? are they valid? Question everything. So now that you have busted that myth, what would you like it to be instead? Have a look and write down how being rich and being spiritual actually are very complementary states of being, how they work really synergistically well together, and reframe this idea for yourself. And now what you need to do is start embodying being rich and embodying being spiritual. So you embody the spirituality and you embody being rich simultaneously, and you bring them together. Let's go a step further. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to project yourself out into the future. See yourself in 5 years' time. You are incredibly rich. You are rich beyond your wildest dreams. You are the kind of rich that only 0.1% of people ever get to become. And now, see how spiritual you are. See how you are now even more able to embody the spirituality, the consciousness, the connection to source. See how you are shining your light for so many others. You are no longer ashamed of being rich and wealthy. You actually embody being rich, being wealthy, being free, and being spiritual all at the same time. See them integrate. See them work together, these states of being, these traits and characteristics. See how you operate in the world. Feel how at peace you are. See how generous and kind you are. See how many people you are helping. Really picture yourself in that state, being that 2.0 version of you. Lock that into your 5-year timeline. And now come back to the present moment, knowing that you have just created an entirely new future path for yourself. Take a deep breath and release it. Open your eyes. Now, as you move through your daily life, start to make decisions as that version of you. The rich, the wealthy, the highly, incredibly spiritual, kind, generous person who is contributing so much to the world and shining your light for everybody to see. You are the embodiment of spirituality and wealth, having a great relationship with money. And as you are that example for others, they will be able to follow your example. You will lead by example. Imagine a world where spiritual people were the ones who were really, really rich, the conscious ones, the ones who had humanity and the planet as their primary concern. What a different world we'd live in, right? You can lead the way. Now, if you found this valuable, do me a favor, show me some love. Like and subscribe, comment below, let me know how this landed for you. If you have missed any of the other videos, you can check them out in the series and the playlist right here. And if you want an EFT tapping video that is all about being spiritual and wealthy, then you can check that out right here. This is a really good one. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video tomorrow. Until next time, take care, keep working on that money mindset. I'll see you tomorrow.